Welcome in. MJ38 show, episode number 22. 22. We keep it moving. We're moving on. Ain't even talking about the old ones. We're on the new ones. I'm thinking about 100. We keep it going.
Yes,
You keep
sir.
it going too.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Think bigger. Mas grande.
Expansion.
The waters are warm. The days are nice. The nights are still a little warm. Got some summer action still going on. We're transitioning into fall right now. I think the first day of fall was actually Saturday.
Nice.
Officially on my calendar.
Nice.
Oh, and yeah, no, officially because we just randomly went to the mall and then went to Bath and Body Works and they had like a 40% off everything.
Wow.
First day of fall sale.
Nice.
Just like randomly. It was like,
Perfectly.
oh shit, tight. Just everything. Like, wow, what a sale.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's nothing like catching a sale.
Welcome to fall.
We're here. Officially, objectively. Can't avoid
Yes,
it.
sir.
You'd be lying now.
Yeah. It's fall time.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to fall.
Still a little warm here in Texas. Sure now.
Isn't it nice catching a sale? Like you were going to spend the money anyways and everything's 40% off. You're like,
Yeah.
life's happening, you know?
Yeah.
Feels great.
Yeah, the timing is just like, here you go. Just a little 40% off.
It's crazy.
It's awesome.
Man.
Yeah, man. The waters are warm. The nights are still kicking. Still a little hot here in Texas, as I was mentioning. You know, in some places, fall is like the leaves are changing and falling. And now, but in Texas, it's just hot. It just stays hot for a minute until sometimes it gets really cold all of a sudden. It's like, damn it. It was just so nice. And now it's so cold. I don't like the cold.
It does feel like we have
Not my
summer and freezing and then back to summer.
Yep.
That's all we get.
There's like moments of like in between.
Yeah.
Maybe like days or weeks at a time of like in between. But most of the time it's just hot.
Fall, we're like right there. And I think in 2 weeks it won't be so hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And that's what you would think. You would think that. Perfectly rational.
I know there's gonna be October days that are
100.
very hot. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it'll happen.
It'll happen.
You're like, it's Halloween.
Why am I sweating so much in this costume?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Been there. I've lived that. I know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Yeah, in other places though, it's like getting cold actually.
Can I be honest with you?
Of course.
So
Please.
So I think it makes people tougher.
The cold?
Both of them.
Okay.
The cold and the heat.
Uh-huh.
I think we get some dogs out here because it's just like at some point you just gotta let go. It's like, yes, it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like good for your spirit to be able to just like accept some things are happening that are uncomfortable. Because initially, when discomfort is occurring, it's like,
Shy away.
yeah, get away from the discomfort.
No, thank you.
Stop that. I want homeostasis and balance back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to feel that thing. But then, like, if you can embrace discomfort, it allows for expansion. It lets you be more than what you could be if you couldn't embrace the discomfort.
Yeah, a little more tough.
Yeah. And so I think
Yeah.
the cold and the heat will do that to you. So sometimes whenever I'm like really just hating how hot it is, I'm like, it's making me a dog. I'm a real life dog.
Yeah.
And then
Up in the dog stat.
kind of like we talked about switching the energy from that negative into a positive last episode.
Mm.
That's how I get through that
Yes, bro.
with the hot days.
Gotta push through. But it's good. It's good over here in Texas. Episode 22 of the MJ38 show here in our little nook of San Antonio. Isn't it crazy that like everywhere you live, you're just like in your own little nook of reality.
Yep.
Wherever you reside.
Wherever you're doing your thing.
That's your world
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah.
It's different than mine.
I think about that. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
Right.
Welcome to my nook. This is my personal nook.
This is personal nook. We're getting into a bit.
Yeah. But also just in this San Antonio, Texas relatively,
Mhm.
United States relatively.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, baby. I love it though.
I love it.
Created a nice little pocket of existence here in San Antonio.
That's why I like driving to Austin, just to drive to Austin sometimes. 'Cause I like
I love Austin.
me too.
I love Austin.
I like thinking about my domain like bigger than just this one little pocket of like, I do life like at these two places.
Mhm.
And that's like my whole life. I'm like, I want to like I live in Texas, which has Austin in it. Like, I wish Houston was a little bit closer of a drive. But sometimes I get in I drove to Marble Falls the other night just for fun. I was like, just feeling
That's a
good.
dog in him.
I was just had a nice
Go
playlist.
for a cruise, dog.
Yeah, cruising, man. Late
Yeah.
night. It was only like 84 that night. That's what I was going to bring up. Is there's a couple
Uh-huh.
nights where it was a little dip in temperature where I could have the windows down. I was like, oh yeah.
You say only 84. People are like, what? It's all relative, though.
In the middle of the summer, there was nights where I was going to play midnight basketball, and I rolled down the windows to bump some Carter 2, and it's hot, and I look at the temperature. It's 102.
Oh,
It's midnight.
oh,
I'm literally going. It's midnight. 102 degrees. It hurt.
oh. Hurt your soul.
It's like you can't get away sometimes.
Come on, man. My God. That's sick.
So only 84. 84 felt great that night. I was
Yeah.
cruising on 84
Cruising.
all the way up to Marble Falls, man.
Going for a cruise. That's such a thing, right?
I
An
Well-
older thing, I think, right?
while I was doing it,
Whenever cars were new,
yeah,
right? It's like, let's just go drive in the fucking new technology that exists in the world that I have that not many people have access to.
Plus, it's a time to just soak in music. It's rarely
Yeah.
you get to just like digest an album. Like, when do you really make time for that? So you get to cruise, take in a lot of different too. Like in your house, you see the same shit. You look outside, it's the same thing.
Mm.
So your brain's processing like new stuff, and I feel like that helps me. In a lot of movies, people will just be driving cars when they're thinking, and I think that like
And
represents.
then it comes to a like revelatory moment. They're like,
yeah.
bust the Yui or some shit. Or start driving really fast.
Yeah. Or slam on the brakes, whatever it may be.
Something.
Yeah. So while I was driving, I think there's something to that. Like, there's something about seeing new stuff, and like literally, if I'm trying to get over something, it's nice to literally be driving forward, because you're like feeling progression.
Mm.
Like, I'm in control of the progression. Like, like
I'm in control. I'm going this way at this speed.
something, I don't know. And but there's that side to it, and then the music really also helps like me, because you hear other people talk about how they deal with their problems, and then you get to process like other people have problems,
Mm.
and then like other people have this attitude about their problems, and maybe I don't necessarily want to think that way, but it's just nice to like identify it outside of yourself to help you process it internally. And so everything was just hidden. The drive was hidden, temperature was hidden, playlist was hidden. Successful cruise.
Cruise.
And I feel like there was like an older soul in me that was like, I think I'll always want to do this. I think I'll always just want to be like, I'm gonna go for a drive.
Mm.
Like I gotta go think, or I gotta go just listen to some music. I used to go for a run to do it, but that's not really in my training program anymore. And I was like, maybe I should reevaluate running, because like life term wise, it might be nice to have this as a therapeutic thinking exercise.
Mm.
Fuck that. Let's get a nice whip.
Yo.
Let's get a Bentley.
Let's get some AC going. It's hot.
For all this thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I came to with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think part of it also is like whenever you're driving, I think it's kind of the same thing almost as walking, where like you're kind of putting yourself in a meditative state almost, in between like doing something, being tasked with the responsibility of accomplishing something versus just like sitting down and doing nothing. You're like one step above nothing, but it's not pressing enough to like make you actually come to like attention and come to, so you're able to like be in like a somewhat heightened state of subconscious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? While
I'm
your
with that.
body's like occupied with like minimal task. It's just like
Yeah. That's something we stated on a podcast. I think
or just
like
walking.
we said how minimal task helps clarity for like better like unpacking, or what would you call it? Deep thinking?
Yeah, like maybe like some neural connections that are going on, or you're able to like change perspective, or like have perspective. That's, I don't know, like trying to gain perspective.
Yeah. It's weird. Like doing the dishes. Have you ever had
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
real I remember one time I got so grateful for where I was, like I almost started crying. I was just like doing the dishes. And it was something about, I think there's just something to like minimal task gains like some kind of better clarity, or like
Mm.
maybe it's because our body does feel the need to do something, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure in life to be doing something. So our body's like, let me get after, if I'm not doing something to make sure I'm not dying, I'm dying. So then you give yourself something to do so you know you're not dying, and then like maybe then you can actually think for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's something to that. It frees up whenever you put your body on autopilot to a degree, you're able to think at a more, maybe not abstract, but thinking a maybe not so here and now place,
Yeah,
a little more detached.
something to that.
And yeah, maybe whenever you're in that detached way of thinking, it's just more clear. Or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But yeah, going for drives. But yeah, I think that's maybe tied back to whenever cars were new.
yeah,
Just going for a cruise in this new whip.
right. Because
The
yeah,
muscle cars and shit back in the 60s.
that's been around. People love cars. As soon as
Mhm.
they came out, people love cars. And I think going on a drive is something that's enjoyable. Because I remember being in high school and telling my mom I just want to go on a drive, and she's like, "What?" Like, I used to go on a drive because there wasn't anything to do. But like, you've got stuff you can do here. There's like an Xbox. There's like a basketball court. Like, we've got all the TV in the world. Like, there's a billion things to do here, and you want to go for a cruise in your car. And I think she didn't want me being on the roads late at night because I was like young and a new driver and like a non-reliable car. Also driving like 80 on the highway where she lived. So there was a lot of like mom pressure to be like, why do you want to go for a drive? But then she kind of like was like, well, I guess it makes sense. Like, it's kind of crazy to me that like I wanted to go for a cruise and I guess you want to do the same thing. Like, I think it's like time. I think I'll always want to do that no matter what's going on around me. That'll always be an appealing way to, because sometimes I don't like playing video games and there's like pressing stuff going on like that I need to deal with. Like, I need to deal with it, but you can't just like deal with it all at once. I need to like go unpack it somewhere. I need to go like come to a better place with it.
Yeah.
And in the car on a drive is a good place for me to do that. Sometimes on a basketball court just by myself, like shooting some shots, I'm thinking it all out. But like sometimes I'm too tired. Like it would be bad for me to go exert more energy. But you can just get in the car and drive.
Yeah, big time. That's another question I guess I had tied to that is, I guess, is it like, I guess you kind of just explained it's kind of more of a meditative thinking exercise. And then I guess I was going to ask the question of like, in the future, let's say we get to the point to where we have drivers, would you want to have a driver drive you around, or like, do you want to drive yourself?
When I think I would. There's probably times for both. There's probably like for going somewhere cool and we want to hang out. Maybe we'll have a driver and be like, so we can just talk shit in the back and like be chilling.
Of course.
But I will definitely want a car always that like I like to drive, that I take out and drive. And like when I'm with like my wife one day, I'll definitely want to drive us places. There might be times where we same thing, just want to talk shit or be drunk, and it'd be nice to have someone else driving us around. But like just as far as like doing stuff, like I like doing my own shit. I like taking care of my own shit. I want to drive myself places. Like I want to be the person driving the fucking bus of my life. And sometimes that looks like, I think, me getting in the car and going where I got to go instead of like having someone else do it. So I don't think, no matter how much money we get, I'm definitely gonna, I think, always have that part of me that sometimes it's like also a wild horse thing. Sometimes I'm like, I feel stuck and
I want to go for a ride.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here, man. Like,
get a stallion.
Yeah. So I always want to have that as like just like I like playing basketball always because it does something for me there. Having a nice, being able to go for a ride does something for me.
Yeah, like in solo. Solo mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The solo world is different too. Like it'd be weird for you in your situation to be like, babe, I'm going for a drive.
Going for a drive, man.
Maybe not weird, but like I don't know how that would fly. Just in the home front, you know?
If it was a thing, or you know what I'm saying, maybe if it was like a mental exercise or like a form of meditation.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool in that sense. But it might be alarming if you did it a bunch, you know?
Where are you going? For a drive. I need to unwind. Where are you going? To unwind. It sounds awful.
Yeah, I'd be like, I wouldn't want my partner to be like, she comes home after a long day, she's like, I gotta get out of here. I'm like, what? You just got here.
Where are you
going? Yeah, that'd be heartbreaking. But it's like reverse. Sometimes like, but when you're by yourself, and like, it's cool, it's just a different game you're playing sometimes, where it's like, sometimes I'm just like, I'm gonna go a little stir crazy being here by myself just in that moment because I'm not dealing with something I need to deal with, and I could like I guess sit down on the couch and think about it, and like toss a ball up in the air, you know, like I guess that's like
play some ping pong.
Yeah, I've seen people think like that, you know, but I like I think people that drive motorcycles probably think similarly. There's something about like I like being on the road. I like driving. Like I like it's not necessarily that I like holding the steering wheel and pressing the gas, but I do like being on the go like that. I like seeing the trees pass by. I like going to a different city because it reminds me that like it's a different city. Like it just takes my head bigger. Because I think if you're just looking at one small thing over and over and over again, it's hard for you not to have like this weird tunnel vision. Not only where you only see that, but you only see the like things in that perspective of like the level of that thing. Whereas if I just like open my mind to the fact that like there's a whole life out here. Look at all these people driving around in these cars. Like look at all this traffic. And then look at Marble Falls is the whole city running with the whole small school with a shitty football program. I don't know. I'm talking shit because we played them one time. But I'm just saying like
They're all in their little nooks of existence.
Yeah.
Look at all these fucking nooks.
Seriously. And that
Y'all just shacked up out here, huh? The way
Yeah.
I shacked up down there, y'all just shacked up here.
Yeah, y'all got a lake out here. That's pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
a cool place to shack it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Not bad shacks.
And I wouldn't get that sitting on my couch. I mean, like I could like visualize it, but experiencing it is
Oh yeah, it's
tight.
different. Yeah, I think bringing yourself. I think we've expressed that before. That bringing yourself to new places, maybe like bring something out of you. To like be in the exploratory, new territory. What is this going on here? What the hell?
Yeah, right.
Let me see what's up with this place. For sure. Yeah, the drives, man. That's tight.
Yeah, it's cool. Do you think?
I love driving like that. I think I can definitely like empathize with that feeling of like liking to drive. Like I don't like going fast or like necessarily like being in like control of like the car, but I enjoy the drive. I like driving places. Like whenever I have to go to Austin or San Marcos or whatever, like 20, 30 hour plus. Like when it gets to like two plus hours, it's like, okay, this is a little bit of a drag.
It gets into a mission mode at that point.
It's a fucking mission.
Yeah.
4 hour drive, 6 hour drive. Woo, that's war, brother.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You gotta have a game plan to
You gotta
get
be ready for that one. But yeah, like I enjoy like an hour and a half drive. It's like I don't mind if I'm just just humming, just driving. Yeah, because I think my body goes into that autopilot place where like kind of when I'm just like walking, like if I walk around a track or whatever, walk on a path that I've walked before.
Yes.
It's just like I've made this drive before. Like if it's a new drive, a new territory, I'm much more alert. But like
of course.
I'm not able to access that autopilot place quite as much.
Yeah.
But if it's a drive you've made before, it's like you could autopilot your way there.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that feeling as well.
It's cool.
Yeah, and I ain't trying to drive fast or like some people like I don't know. I guess some people have to. Maybe some people like the feeling the asphalt under their feet, like driving because they gotta be driving fucking like trucks, like cross nation. People who drive for a living, and there's also people who drive for a living, like F1 drivers. Like I like going fast. I'm Ricky, Ricky Bobby shit.
Yeah, there's that extreme too.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that is.
But I like it though.
There is something. Like my dad's one of those people that one time we stopped at a Corvette dealership. We were there for some other shit, but there was a Corvette dealership like attached to the dealership we were at. And then we test drove like the newest Corvette. And he was like,
lit.
Yeah, right.
Lit.
And he kind of like,
what year was this?
Like 2013, I think.
Okay. It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah. This is when I was like, I've driven one like really nice car in my own opinion. And it was a Genesis Coupe. And like we were kind of working that out, and he was getting a new car, and that like they were transferring that car to me and stuff like that. And then while all that was happening, we drove this other Corvette, and my dad kind of baited the dude because my dad doesn't necessarily look like he's gonna get in a car and just tear it up. He looks kind of like he's chilling, like maybe even kind of soft. Like
he looks like he works in IT.
Yeah, for sure. He's got like a very kind-hearted voice. Yeah, like he seems like you could trust him with the keys to the Corvette, for sure. And then my dad gets in there and like almost like looks at me and is like, got him.
Just, got him. you were in it too?
Yeah.
All three of y'all?
Yeah. He just rips it, dude.
What was your expression?
I was thrilled, but also like it makes when someone like rips off the line, like I know because I've been in cars, but it makes me kind of sick to my stomach. So I was kind of like,
hold your lunch.
Seriously. And so and then like when I literally do this, I'm like, because I remember looking back at the guy and he was like.
You were in the passenger.
Yeah, because he was like, yeah, it's cool, bro. I sit in the back, like, yeah, enjoy the experience, whatever the fuck it was, dude. And fucking, dude,
got him. Yes,
bro.
Jonathan.
And then he like pulls it around to the front. And he's like, "Can I take it on the highway?" And then the guy's like, "Yeah." And
sure.
And then
got him again, idiot. Fucking rookie.
Yeah, we just tore that bitch up for like a good like across the highway, across the highway, back to the dealership. Here you go, brother. Car's ready, and then we got our shit and just left.
Oh my gosh!
But it was really cool. All that to say, my dad's one of those guys that was, you know what I'm saying,
driving fast.
Yeah, loved the driving fast. He just wanted to get in there and He wanted to go see how fast people could be going these days.
That's hilarious.
That's part of the science.
I was like, oh yeah, I guess what was his takeaway?
That was
What were his
awesome.
thoughts?
He's like, that thing's sick. That thing's sick. It's disgusting.
Lit.
Lit as it gets.
That's so funny. That's awesome. Yeah, but driving, I've never like taken a drive like that, like with the intention of like sorting things out. But I think I do that anyway. Or like when I do drive, like I don't even really listen to music. You know, it's like sometimes you listen to podcasts, audiobooks, music for sure. And then within music, you listen to like playlists or certain albums or certain singles or whatever you listen to, and like I hit all those categories. But for the most part, I think like majority of the time, I don't have music on or like anything on. And like within that process, I'm like, or unless, I guess also another category I missed is like I'll have no music on, and then I'll be like thinking, or I'll have like an instrumental on that like we're working on, and then I'll be thinking the same way and like putting the song together, like it'll be coming together.
That's nice.
Yeah, but like I guess I've never taken a drive to like do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For that intention, but I do that when I do drive. I think that's partially why I like driving so much.
Right. I feel you. That makes a lot of sense. There's something nice about having the music being played on the speakers in a car, because it's like it's in between a speaker in your house and headphones, because it's like it can take up the whole vibe, although it's not usually it takes the headphones to take up the whole vibe. So I like that part. Like I usually have my stereo literally as loud as it'll go, and then the windows down. And when you're driving fast, it's like perfect. Like I'm in my own world in the same way that when I wear headphones, I'm in my own world. Yeah. And then there's something about when I'm in my own world, the thinking changes too. A lot of
that shit could be bumping with the sound systems.
Yeah, it's tight. And music draws things out of me too. Part of it is sometimes I just like need to remember who I am. I need to remember what I think and what I stand on and where my confidence lies in. And I think sometimes to get a seat at the table, you have to know what you bring to the table, like through and through. Like you got to know that and you got to be that. And if you can't stand on that, then you won't be able to sit there.
Seats taken.
Yeah, sorry. That's like part of it.
I love that.
And then I really had to learn that in the last season of my life. And sometimes I had to go listen to my favorite artists and remember like the building blocks that like made me who I am, and all the things that I listen to Omerta, and it takes me back to like when I was on the Riverwalk busting my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like remember exactly what I put together and who I am and what I bring to the table. And then how do I stand on that? You feel like this. You take this feeling that you had to go drive to Marble Falls so you could feel like this, and that's fine. But you need to take this back to exactly where you're at and stand on this, because this is the truth. But it's sometimes like you got to peel back that onion to get to like what the actual truth is. Yeah. And that I think everybody's gonna have to do that at some point if you want to get a seat at some table. There's gonna be a point where it's like you're you for a reason, and you got to be able to stand on that. Yeah. Yeah. What do you bring? And I personally, I think life has probably given you everything you need. Like it's true. Just like, I mean, I don't always want to bring church into it, but like there's a part of you that isn't perfect. And then there's the part of you that is exactly who you're supposed to be. And you got to know the part of you that's exactly who's supposed to be, and like believe that part and like flourish that part, because that's also true. And there's going to be times where the bad parts of you or the negative parts of you might want to believe that part about yourself too, but then like you're like playing yourself. You can't stand on what you bring to the table if you can't stand on it. And that's like man, that's like, I love that. You got to be able to do that, man. It's like important, like super important. Yeah. And a lot of that lies with knowing who you are and finding out who you are. And it's tight and it's also badass that music can like timestamp a fucking part of your life. So you like listen to that song and remember all the adversity, all the games you had to play, and all the opponents you had to defeat to get to the levels. You know what I'm saying? To even get to what became the thing that believes the thing that you're struggling to stand on right now. You're like, oh, I know why I believe this. I spent many a nights doing my thing out there, like grinding my heart out, like really learning this thing, like knowing, putting in some good work. Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why I feel these ways. There's like a reason why I know what I know. Like it's predicated. There's solid bricks there. You gotta remember your story. Yes. I think it's like Lion King-esque. It's like Simba has to remember who you are. Yeah. And then you can restore order. Yeah, then you gotta go back. Yeah, go back and restore the order. Yeah, but you get kind of, I don't know. It's like, I think it's nature. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't think this is necessarily unique to me. I think that might be metaphysically for everybody's gonna get to a point where like you've become a person for like a specific job, and then you're gonna have to like stand on the person you became to like successfully do that job. And I think there's gonna be pressure to like not fall off your block, but like if you're just dunking a lot, they're gonna start pushing you off the block a little bit, and you're gonna have to be like, "Whoa, hold on, this is basketball too."
Yeah, if you start catching touchdowns, they start jamming you at the line.
Yeah, and then being a good wide receiver is like still catching touchdowns. Like still, when the game changes, you have to be able to adapt. You have to, or you're not good. And that's cool if you don't want to be good. But like me personally, it's not okay. So like I've got to be able to adapt to when the game changes to put pressure on me flourishing because who I am brought me to a point where I could flourish in this capacity, and then it's gonna like start jamming me up on that. It's like, man, like I was brought to this place in a bigger capacity than just that one way of flourishment. Like I was like, here I am. You know
thyself, bro.
Yeah, it's important, bro. It's important. That's what we're trying to say, man.
That's the one thing, bro.
Sometimes I'm like, socializing almost doesn't make sense to me sometimes because I'm like, know thyself. We all have to deal with nature and our story. And me personally, I believe God. Like that's enough. Like that's a lot. I don't even know why we're talking sometimes. Like
I feel you.
Yeah,
I get it.
you know?
And yeah, we have a podcast. But no, I get 100%. It was like, God, I feel you. I'm ready. I got you. Whatever you got planned, I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just waiting for that. But yeah, I guess we're just passing time until our time is called. Whenever that's gonna be, God knows. But if we're gonna be passing time, do it joyfully, with love.
I don't know if that's a bad perspective. I also sometimes think we're just passing time. And you're kind of referencing like until we could go on a tour or something like that, until like the podcast gets a really big guest and blows up to like 1 million viewers or something like that. But like, I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like God would just, or it doesn't feel like my life would just give me a big pocket of time to just be like passing time. So there's something going on here that's like important, you know?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So I don't know if I should live on the predicate that I'm just passing time right now, but like, I mean,
Yeah, you're passing time like on a vacation. You know what I'm saying? As well, it's like this is like a vacation to a degree. I can be
yeah,
here forever.
yeah,
But yeah, I think there is like we're tasked with something. There's something going on here. There's meaning to it. I believe. I think I think that's where like kind of where a split occurs. It's like where nihilism pops up. It's like what is all of this? You know what I'm saying? Why are we doing any of this? I think there has to be a like that faith. That's where the ledge is. It's like you have to like jump off of it and be like, oh, I can't. You don't know. I don't know. We're all just here. We're all just here, like passing time, like living to a degree. We don't really have much choice into like when we come in, like our parents and our ancestry. Like we kind of just pop up.
sure.
So it's just like we all have to experience that.
Yeah.
And then some people, I guess, yeah, you can have the fork in the road of, well, we're all here doing this thing. Like, is there a why to it? That's like a faith.
Yeah.
It's like yes or no. It's like, well, if not, then fuck. But yes, I think yeah, that's kind of where the faith pops in. You have to choose to believe that this is all worth it. This is all meaningful. Like,
Yeah, dude.
and in the end, I think we're all gonna find out.
Yeah,
You'll find
dude.
out in the end.
Dude, it's like it's like saying you do or don't believe in science. It's like you just be wrong. Like that was a bad metaphor. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like I have believed that life is alive and like worth it, and that there's a lot of whys like actually playing out for so long that it's like I almost forgot the perspective of like that's a jump to like that it takes faith to get there. Because at this point I'm like, that's just physics. Like that's just science. Like
That's just 1 + 1 = 2.
yeah, you cannot believe in gravity if you want, but like you'll fall down. And like karma is like the same thing. Like I'm not putting that on y'all. Like I just think that exists. Like I just think that like energy is energy, and like frequency is frequency, physics is physics, and like gravity is gravity.
Yeah.
That just is this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's that leap of faith.
Take that jump. Take that jump. Life gets so much cooler. It's like color gradation comes into black and white life.
Yeah, I guess what's the next step after that? It's like, okay, I believe. Let me see if it's meaningful. I guess part of it also is like, I think that once you do make that jump and then you start to look for how is this meaningful or like how it is, I think life will start to talk to you. Like how I was talking to you before we got on, talking about the sauna and
Yes.
wanting to look at my phone and then being like, nah, I'm gonna look in a couple seconds when the song is over. And then looking at my phone and then seeing that it was like, because I waited that extra time, that extra little 5 or whatever seconds to pause, I like looked at my phone and it was 138 left. And like just seeing that little, having those little synapses, like those little moments of like, there's something bigger here. You know what I'm saying? Like I like when I see 38, that's like a wink, or that's like old terminology we've been using for years now.
Yeah.
But like coincidences or timing of things and timing of outward matrix playing in with your inward thoughts of like this crazy serendipitous moments. Like whenever you start to believe that, okay, maybe this is more than, this is worth it. Maybe there is something, there is a why to all of this. There is something I'm supposed to be doing. And then like whenever maybe you flip that switch and start looking for it, like little things like that will start to, and maybe whenever you see those, you have to assign like positive emotion to it.
Yes.
Or like, because you could just brush it off. Like, oh, it's just a coincidence. Or whatever.
I think you don't see it when you're not looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Drake says, in dire times when you need a sign, that's when they appear. So I think like kind of like when you're looking for, you can look for it and you can overlook for it. But I don't know if like when you're not looking for it, it's like I don't think you see it.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like taking the faith is what opens up the glasses to like start like seeing those serendipitous moments or that coincidence. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe coincidence does pop up on you or serendipity does pop on you when you're not like
Regardless.
Yeah, right?
I would think so.
I think I remember as a kid a couple times like you see some shit, my mom would be like, "That's crazy. That's crazy." And then you're like, "What?" And then it's like it's just coincidence because these things, but you know.
Wild.
Yeah. And like I don't know, I remember feeling like those moments were really like electrically charged. Like it felt like that was the cooler part of life. That was like, oh, maybe like the world's not flat. Like maybe there's some like dope shit going on here, you know? I don't want to believe in spirits and like demons and like I don't want to believe in like aliens, not like but like how do you get out of just like Earth being a flat Earth and like animals just dying, trees just dying. It's like everything's just like birth, death, start over. It's like that's kind of lame to a degree. Like what goes on that makes it worth it, you know? Like it's like there's these energetically charged moments that bring value and worth to like the reoccurrence of the because a lot of things cyclical too. Things just happen in cycles, so it's like you're just going through the same cycles over and over again.
Yeah, it's like child, parent, grandparent, child, parent, grandparent. Yeah. That's a big cycle that we've all been going through.
And then behavioral cycles too. Like people just repeat themselves like year after year.
Habits.
Yeah. You end up just like your dad who repeated himself year after year. And the cycle of your family repeating them. It's just all this circular. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I think that
there's a grander scheme.
What would make that? Yeah. What would make that like worthwhile, or what makes that not so? Because it seems like there would be more going on here. Like we have hearts and lungs, and like the Grand Canyon's fucking crazy, and like this, there's a food chain. It just works naturally. So it all does work. It's like it feels like if all that's gonna work, how it can't be so lame that like it wouldn't be worth pursuing more in. Like, what if the song sucks? Why would you want to dance? I'm like, there's no way this song sucks. Like, what? There must be more here. And then there's like a couple times where you see like, I saw my parents have these like really big moments where they were kind of like fucked up by life and like the way things played out, and it just felt like there was. And then I finally like really committed myself to what I was doing and really started like trying to actively involve myself in my own life, and I could see how things were playing out, and there was like signs encouraging me forward, or like songs would come on. I'm in the middle of thinking about this thing, and then like I get this thought about this thing, and I'm like, wait a second, and then like all of a sudden on my playlist a song comes in that starts
a song lyric or something.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit, that was like I'm tripping.
That's how we classified it. Yeah. I'm tripping right now.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the gym, and like I feel like God just talked to me to a degree. It's like really hard to explain, and I'll sound stupid. But then I started betting some of my chips on some of those things that
life chips.
Yeah, putting eggs in the baskets of what I felt and what I heard, and like I started doing really well in sports betting. I know that doesn't even make sense, but like I popped off. It's
Makes
like
no sense.
no sense. But it was all about putting my eggs in these baskets on these things that I felt like God was telling me, and just working on that habit of like when I feel it like that, put your egg in that basket. And then I was just getting profit, 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 profit. My stock kept going up on all these things. And that's how I'm saying, like, at this point, I just know that that's like a truer truth. That's like it's what makes it all worth it, is that there's these like moments where life is alive and life talks to you and your karma is real. And if you dig yourself in and try your hardest, like life will get better. Like things play out. It's not all random chaos. It's not like people just die in car accidents. And I mean, they do, but that's the argument against what I'm saying is like, it's all random chaos and everyone's out to get you. The government's evil. You're never going to get any wealth because it's all a scam to make you spend it all.
The Illuminati's got us.
Yeah. America's fucked. That why try? Nihilism. Nihilism is a heavy argument. It's like, nah, bruh.
Yeah, I think we have to like be looking or open to that, leap of faith, looking for those signs, and then assigning the positive association with it, because you can also just brush it off as like, oh, it's just coincidence. This is just whatever, or like the same thing. You can just be like, no, this is like the universe and like the creator of the universe, this thing that's alive, like this thing is alive and it's talking to me through this. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Through this matrix. Yeah. It's talking to me through itself, like through my thoughts. And like, that could be validation enough. Or you can, just brush it off as coincidence. I'm telling we've fallen on the other path. It's like a spectrum. And it's like, you fall somewhere in between. But like, eventually, I think this is the truth through our life science research that we've conducted over the last decade.
Yes. What do you do with that? Will be the next question. It's like, just try your best. Just try your best.
Try your best.
Every single day, try your best.
Try your best. Look for the signs. Yeah, just try your best.
That's it.
That's all you can do.
That's it,
What
man.
the hell?
Dude.
What the hell?
Yeah, go on.
Damn it, man.
Yeah, go on.
That's it. Cool. Just try your best.
That's all we got.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
And I can tell you, like, you can try your best for like years on end. Like,
That's another thing. How long can you be trying your best for?
You can do it for years on end.
Try your best to try your best.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying to you right now. I know that shit's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes your best is only 80%, but that's okay. Bring that.
Yeah.
Sometimes your best is only 35%. Bring that.
Yes.
And then when those days are 100%, you'll bring that.
Yes.
And you'll see that. And you'll be like, oh shit, I want to bring more 100% days.
Yes. Because if you really saw that and you really were trying your best, if that was rule number 1 and you saw that would make you better, you revert to rule number 1, you'd start getting some more rest so you could come in more well prepared, more closer to 100. It's like, all you gotta do is try your best.
Yes.
But that's a lot to ask.
The hardest.
It's actually all you don't want to do.
It's everything you have. That's your best.
But I'm telling you, like, you can try I had to cultivate it. Justin was like, try your best to try your best. It's like, I got into long distance running because like, I saw what it did for my mind. And I was like, this is going to help me think longer. This is going to help me build endurance, because trying your best for one day isn't enough. You got to try your best for like 30 days, bro. You got to see how, like, at one point I was like, a good grade for a good day would be 26 good days out of 30. If I like did all 4 things that were required of me to have a quote unquote good day for 26 out of the 30 days, that's a good month. And less than that's like not really great. That's like kind of failure, honestly. And like, that's how do I get myself to a place where I can actually do that? And then running every day helped that, because it just started with like doing a tough task that I don't want to do every single day. And once I wrapped my mind around being okay with that through running, like working hard every day wasn't so hard. It's like, it's okay. Like, it's high. I fucking have to run today. Like, it's all fucked.
It'll be over.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I guess, like, choosing to go through voluntary adversity, like running or weightlifting or whatever the hell you're going to do, go MMA training. Like, you're choosing to go through that adversity. And then, like, whenever you do that, like, you know it's going to be over at some point. Like, you finish it. You finish the workout. You finish the sauna session. You finish the whatever you're going to do. You finish the essay. You finish whatever the fuck. And then, like, you're done. So, like, whenever you go into that work shift, or, like, you know that this is going to be over.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that. Like, I'm already there. Like, I'm used to putting in the hard work. I just got to get through this shit. And of course, there's like little pop-ups along the way that make it a little more fun.
Yeah.
A little more obstacles. Sometimes pop up some random obstacles, but you know it's gonna be over eventually. The shift is gonna end. I promise. The shift is gonna end. Tomorrow is coming. So like, it's not that bad for us, but for some people, it's like despair. It's like, oh, this is so hard. This is so hard. And there's no way out. There's no end in sight. I'm like, I've been there. That's like minute 12 in the sauna.
Yeah.
I go there every day.
So true, bro.
I visit that place every day.
So true.
There's no way out.
That despair feeling is real. The despair feeling
I'm
at
so
work
hot.
is real. It directly translates to a shift. Like I remember being like a less solid version of myself and just feeling that feeling of like, fuck, I want to go home. I just want to be on my couch so bad. I want to watch Vikings so bad. This is ass. Like that's a real thing. Like I had to stomp those thoughts out. Like I beat the shit out of those thoughts.
You gotta kill those demons.
Yeah. I spent years like what would you call it, starving those wolves inside of myself, because they are the things that are stopping you. At least for me personally, those were the things stopping me from achieving my personal destiny. It was just like laziness, like not wanting to compete, more or less, like not wanting to go into the domain and do the standard of pace for what hard work is, like what hard workers, because how are you going to expect a good life if you're not willing to go do everything you have in an industry, go commit yourself and like work really hard and become like knowledgeable within the industry? And like, how would you expect to have a good life back? In my own mind, that doesn't make sense.
Of course.
So with that being like a presupposition and me doing that, like, I don't know. Part of it is, I don't know. I lost myself.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
But
You're trying to work hard, man. How do you expect to get the results if you don't put in the work?
right.
Yeah, you gotta put that shit in.
Okay, so but the problem is that those laziness demons were real. Where
Yeah.
like I want a good life, but at the same time, I struggle to be at work. It's like, which one is more real? Like, do you really want a good life, or do you hate being at work? So like, it took years of trying to figure out how to get rid of the wolves inside of me that hated being there. And like, if I think that's where the despair was. That's when I'd be 4 hours into an 8-hour shift and be like, this sucks, dude. Like, okay, I'm going to wait 30 minutes to take my lunch. So when I come back from lunch, I only have to be here for like 3 hours. I'll spend an hour doing that. And then I'll take a smoke break. And then I'll be like an hour, 45 minutes. And then I'll put on the Joey Diaz podcast. And then that'll get me through the rest of that. Like, had to like,
I'm out this bitch.
chart out the suffering. And like, I'm so far from that now. It's crazy. The sauna helps a lot with that.
Yeah, big time.
There's times where it's just, you just have to sit still.
That suffer state.
Yeah. You got to sit still at work and be a little uncomfortable. And sometimes I'm just standing there and I feel the slight discomfort of just standing at work. And I'm like, this is nothing like the sauna. I have suffered much worse.
This is nowhere near as hot.
I've been in a way worse suffer state, like relatively not that long ago.
Yep, today.
And then I feel other people will like, they deal with that discomfort usually by socializing. So like people will talk and then like bounce to someone else to talk to, and bounce to someone else to talk to. It's like a dance of like dealing with the discomfort of nothing happening. And then me personally, it's like, technically we shouldn't be talking. Technically we should be, it would, in my opinion, it would be objectively better if we all were just like standing here, kind of like meditating for the day.
Just reflecting on existing for a little bit. Just take a moment with yourself.
Yeah. I think that would be the ideal thing to be doing right now.
Charting out the next move.
Yeah. And I want to lead by example. So this is what I'm doing. And I'm not talking to people. I'm just charging up my energy, getting my chi right.
Hold down the fort of you.
Yeah. But that's like off-putting to people. Like people will come up to me and literally be like, hey, why do you always like isolate yourself from us, man? Like, why are you don't want to talk to us? Your energy's too precious. These are literally quotes.
And I quote. And I quote.
And I was like, no, man. Like, well, I don't want to talk about the bullshit y'all are talking about. And I don't think we should be talking at all.
I'm just chilling being me, dog.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying myself.
Yeah. And I was like, seen any good movies lately? You know, I'll extend it out where it's not like I can't or won't or don't. I just don't, like, Yeah, okay, it is that I don't because I don't want to. Like, I
Yeah.
want to be ready. I just want to be ready right now.
Especially at work.
Yes. If we were at a bar, I probably
But in
wouldn't.
that discomfort, though,
That charges.
they're like, I gotta do that. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go.
So they kind of. The problem is that like my energy. This is what I see. My energy is like, and then their energy kind of is like, and I'm just like, no, like I'm staying up here. And they're like, charge back up on the lower frequency of solving the problem with socializing and distracting themselves from the discomfort rather than embracing the comfort and just like establishing readiness. And I don't want to compromise what I'm doing, bruh.
Yeah.
Like it might make a lot of people happy if I were to compromise that thing that I'm doing. And maybe there's a way to dynamically evolve it to where I do both at the same time. I can like charge other people and still hold my readiness. But like at that point in time, it was like, I don't want to compromise this. Like I'm happy to unfortunately make you more uncomfortable because you can't rationalize why I'm comfortable in the discomfort. And I don't want to lower to discomfort with you. It's just wrong. So no, sorry.
Yeah. Facts, bro.
Sorry.
I'm saying.
But like
we chilling.
Yeah, but that'll become a critique at some point.
Yeah. I guess within the social watering hole of life, that can happen for sure. And then you're perceived as a dick. But whatever, bro. Give a fuck, dog.
That has
I
to
just
be
know who
that
I
way.
am.
Yes.
Yeah. You can call me a dick if you want. That's fine.
Fine.
Fine, by me.
Bro. It's cool, bro. It's cool, bro. It's like
you didn't make me, so you can't break me.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't build me, so you can't kill me.
Go. I'm drinking that water.
That's Deion Sanders.
That's my Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I live on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I really don't care what you think about me. Like I get it when he's like, "Why the fuck would you think?"
What about me makes you think that I give a fuck? But any of your opinions.
Like
I don't think he said that exactly, but more or less.
Pretty much. Right there. He'd be happy with that quote, I think. I get that. Like it's not a stretch for me to adopt that energy.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a stretch, I think, for us to say that he's not being an asshole in saying that.
No.
It sounds like a very dickish, cocky, arrogant thing to say.
It does.
But like I know exactly what he means, and like the place it's coming from.
Yeah.
Is a true that's knowing who you are.
Yes.
That's what it feels like to know who you are. That's like the teeth of the wolf that is bulked up when you feed that wolf of confidence in knowing who you are and developing evidence of who you are throughout your life to back it up. I know who I am. You can't tell me who I'm not. Like fuck. Next question.
That maxed out.
Mm-hmm.
It, like you're saying, I think some people, it's like a good message to somebody. I could see a younger version of myself that would have to like get myself to a place to understand what that means. But it's just
Fully.
Exactly, right?
Fully.
Because it's not an arrogant statement when you understand how important knowing yourself is and when you realize how important in your own life, like standing on what you believe in and who you are and like taking your shit forward is like a hard task. And it's like what kind of traits does it really take to do that? It's like knowing what you know. That's super important. And
yeah. And part of that is like being willing to sacrifice the social. You know?
Yeah.
Sacrifice your social, whatever.
We hear that across the board.
The social narrative that's built of you.
I'd rather make the music that they party too. So party hard, party all long, all night long.
Peter.
Yeah, Flair.
Flair. Yes.
That that bar sits in my axiom of like you're talking about. Yeah, we're gonna have to sacrifice some nights to do what we have to do. I think that's like across the board.
Yeah.
They'll tell you,
and sacrifice making people uncomfortable. Just standing at work, choosing to do your own thing, and by choosing to do your own thing, you're simultaneously choosing to not engage in their thing.
Yes,
it's like I forget what opportunity cost. They're like, you're not gonna spend your existence with me. It's like I'm good right here, dog.
Yeah,
and we should honestly be working right now.
But it happens when you want to eat healthy at work too.
Yep. Yeah, people make fun of you for eating healthy or for eating a certain way, for fasting.
Yep.
For whatever.
You get negative somehow it's negative response. But it's disruption to the social experience. Yeah, you gotta why the fuck do you think I care? That you're like upset about like that's the problem. Okay, so this is it sucks because I have to know myself so well that I will eat healthy even if it makes you uncomfortable. Because why would I give a fuck about like I need to eat healthy, bro. Like you're not gonna live my life.
Yeah,
you know
because
what I'm saying?
because if I do let that guide my decision making, then I won't eat healthy because if I'm gonna make you uncomfortable. But it's like, nah, but I want to do this thing for myself.
Yes.
But
Yes.
sacrifice. Who am I gonna sacrifice for, dog?
Dude, and that might make you. People don't like that. Some people don't like that.
Mm.
Some people, it's easier. Crabs in a bucket syndrome. It's easier to glue. It's if we could all come to an aggregate instead of you trying to be such an outlier. That'd be great for everybody. It's like, don't you want to be great for everybody? It's like, I'm living a personal legend. I'm trying to maximize my personal legend. This is my life. Like I have big dreams for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of things going on here. I'm not stopping now. I'm not slowing down for anybody, dog.
Nope.
For who? Not even because why? Like I can't. I'm sorry.
Because why? Yes, bro. Yeah, it's like if I gotta maximize my personal legend. I think that's everyone's purpose here. I think pursuing that will help you find your purpose.
Yeah.
Maximize your personal legend, and if doing so makes others uncomfortable, like I guess, then it comes like, well, what's your personal legend?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Because if it makes others uncomfortable, then fuck them. But then, well, who's?
It's a libertarian argument. Anything. It's like anything you want that doesn't infringe on like other people. I think it's like energetically. Like you can't be doing some fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where's your heart at? Where's your spirit at?
Okay, there's insurance there because your spirit wouldn't. I think you were made for something. So your spirit, if you really tapped into what you really believe, there'd be something like fucking of worth there, something worth its salt. Like you'd be able to express to me something that would win me over, because I think we all have that in us. We all have like a journey, like a personal legend to be maximized. And so once you like start expressing that thing, like you feel it. Like you ever heard someone just like start singing and you're like, oh my God, yeah, you won me over. Like I think if you were really going to like express yourself, it would be a thing that wins people over, because that's like what's going on here, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, where your heart is or your spirit is, I think it would be in a place that isn't going to make an issue about you not caring what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh shit, he's on his shit. Okay, bet I can respect that.
Yeah, and it's not doing it in a dickish way.
Sometimes I respect someone for being a little, like,
If you gotta be blunt, you gotta be blunt.
yeah.
Sometimes too much is too much.
It seems. Go ahead.
Well, as I say, yeah, life is calling us to be Belgian war horses sometimes, and people are being jackasses. You gotta try to nip that in the bud sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Just sometimes, man. There's like.
Just sometimes you can't lose the childish or the childish spark that comes with like spontaneous laughter and like
Yeah. You need it.
being silly to a degree.
I'm not somebody who needs my spirit lifted up like that, and I'm not someone who lifts spirits up like that, but the trench needs people who lift spirits up like that, because there's people who do need that. That was like a realization I had to come to. It's like people need to have their spirits uplifted. It's nice when someone's a jackass, and it's nice sometimes when if they're nuanced about it, like if they know how to like tell a joke, it's like they know when to do it with good timing, but they also work hard. That's like perfect,
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
feel like you can't shit on that person. You don't want to tear that person down too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I do. But you don't want to do that.
There's a balance to it.
Yeah.
There's a balance to it. Because you can't lose that, but also like when the work needs to be done and the animals need to be hunted, the food needs to be the kids need to get fed.
Yeah.
Like, we need to rise to that occasion and like be fucking ready. But yeah, it's a fine balance. It's a fine balance. You can't just be shitting on people all the time.
You can't.
No. I guess you could. Some people like rule like that.
Yeah.
Unless they have power. Or because they have power. Start shitting on people.
I think empathy probably helps with that. I think you could even say like Andrew Tate shits on people all the time. He carries that like, I don't give a fuck what you think. This is the right way to be, and I'm pursuing that, and like fuck you. But people hate him. Kanye, same thing. People hate him. Like and I don't know if that's a bad thing. Like like Deion Sanders would say it's not a bad thing.
I know part of it is not.
Yeah,
for sure.
right? Because we've been talking about it the whole time. That's
Yeah.
what you mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But as to what you're saying, there's kind of some maybe justifiable, like maybe not reasons to hate them, but I can see why people might lean that way. Right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that argument's like not justifiable in a sense. I don't know if in the grander scheme of things, I think like the better thing to do is be more dynamic with your personality. But like Bill Belichick doesn't have to be dynamic with his personality. It's just like that guy, you're acting like a real asshole. Okay. I don't know what, like, I don't know if you've seen any of the impressions of Bill Belichick or the stories they talk
Get
about.
out of my locker room.
Yeah. Just talk. You know who number 72 is? Well, he's only Matt Light. He's a fucking 7-year veteran in this league, you asshole. You're going to be sitting next to him the whole year. I'd like it if you knew his fucking name. That's what he told Julian Edelman when he was a rookie. It's just like, that's,
Oh, God.
he doesn't have to, he doesn't. Like, he kind of rules like that. But I would almost probably like playing for him in a sense. But, like, okay. The argument back to that thought theory is like, this generation's getting softer. Like, this generation couldn't handle a Bill Belichick. So Matthew, you can't pursue being Bill Belichick like if you want to be dominant in this league. You're gonna have to find a way to actually care what people think about you a little bit.
Be a little more nuanced with it.
Exactly. And it's like that's the bridge I'm building right now. And it's like I want them to be wrong. It'd be convenient if everybody was wrong and I could just not give a fuck about what anybody thinks about me and just it's hard to be Jordan Peterson-esque or it's hard to be your best version of yourself or to try to be Christ-like. That shit is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just spend all of my energy on that and not what the fuck you guys think about what I'm doing while I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm. That's it. I think we're in a paradox of paradoxes with this one, but that's it.
Right? That's the argument for the side of the paradox that makes sense from Deion Sanders' point of view?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we could take it to a different mode.
Gotta be more meta nuance with it.
Yes. And that'll make us more transcendent.
Mm-hmm.
If we can adapt to the critique well.
Yeah. Because, you have to, because I think at the same time, you have to not give a fuck what they think if you're trying to just be more Christ-like and like maximize your personal legend. But then also, you also need to not be an asshole about it and be overly, whatever the fuck, like braggadocious or insensitive. Insensitive's
the word.
Yeah, it's like
a great word.
Mm-hmm, right. It's like, yeah, it's a balance between those two things. But I know the one, like, you have to not give a fuck. Because if you do too much, you will compromise. You won't post, like, due to your perspective of the social critique of you, it's like, you're going to not post that video. You're not going to post that music. You're not going to post that thing. You're not going to ask that, whatever. You're not going to pursue the thing.
Right.
Or eat healthy if you're going to mess up the fucking social environment.
100%.
Or it's like, yeah, you see people catching shit for it at work. You're like, not going to be like, I could join them in like the eating healthy and taking the shit. Or I could just like, not and stay on this side. It's like if you don't have the fuck what they think, then you will fall into that. I care what they think so much that like, I'm not like, who are you? You're nobody. Or like, not nobody, but like, you're everybody.
Yeah.
You're trying to be everybody's friend. It's like you're nobody.
you're like who you perceive, what you think everybody likes. It's like, it's super far off from anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked. But there's people like that. People suffering from that.
Mm-hmm. Big time. For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Fine balance.
That's what I'm trying to tell people about. The thing that, this is awesome. I finally be able to articulate it. The coolest thing about being like 29, and I assume you're right there with me to having just turned 30.
Yes.
Is that like life, I had to stack lessons that like all the movies and all the books, seems like everything's kind of expressing to you like some definite things you're going to have to learn in life. And then life like presented me with those problems where I had to learn those things, and it kind of like makes sense. And I got to like an understanding of life where like I had to understand Deion Sanders saying, you've got to not give a fuck about what people think about you if you're going to be your best version of yourself. I was someone who was very far from that wanted to go down that road and like needed that lesson right there. But now life's gotten to a place where like, if I can figure out how to adapt the nuanced versions, like you got to take that slogan sticker and you got to wear it on your helmet. But if I can wear that in a way where like I can hit big fucking hits but not get flagged for it because I figure out how to not get charged for targeting, because I figure out how to like time my stuff or like him. There's just a way to do it so that you can achieve a better result if you take the lessons that you're supposed to learn and adapt to life in a way that's like all the lessons weren't built exactly for what's going on right now.
Yeah, all the lessons that you have now were built in the past.
Exactly.
And the future is not the past.
It's not.
It's not.
To be a true pioneer, I have to like contend with the now. And that's the greatness threshold. I feel it. I'm like touching it sometimes. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So like it's cool because like from 18 to 27, shit was like get your act together. Get your act together. Life will be dope. Get your act together. Got my act together. Life was dope. But then like it keeps going. And now I'm like, oh shit, this is like there's expert levels to this game. Like you got to take nuanced experiences into the now and like test them in simulations. Like we're running every day. I go to a work shift. Like every day I run the simulation of all my thought cultures and all of my ability to try to be all I can be, player. Like I gotta get in there every day. And it's crazy to like, there's a way to take it to a different mode. There's still more here in this life. I can become a more nuanced, more complex, more sophisticated person that can deal with more sophisticated problems. And boy, they're out there. Like life will keep going with you. It doesn't even stop. Like this shit don't ever stop, man. And that's my favorite part about life right now. That's what I learned at 29.
Yeah, there will never, at least through our experience so far, like there's never gonna not be the winks. Like whenever you first start looking for them, like they pop up pretty rapidly, and like they mean a lot. And like when they hit really hard sometimes.
Yeah.
And like it never stops. It never stops. Like it just evolves. Everything just keeps on changing. Like the better you get, the harder it gets, and like the more you look, the more there is to see.
When the doors open up, they open up. It's awesome. It's awesome. So, yeah, the further I get down the path of it's worth it, the more I'm like it's worth it. It's really cool. I had a dream about it. I had a dream where I was walking and the road just kept getting more gold. And like every step I took, it was just like more and more. And then the feeling in my heart was like I made it. Like no more busting my ass doing not exactly what I want to do, which would be like making music and podcasting.
Yeah, if I could just create what I wanted to do in my day to day, it would not be go to that restaurant.
Right? Just honestly, I think like
yes,
yeah, we're not the only ones.
But I love going there. I love working. I love working hard.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
Yeah, I need it in my life. Thank you for giving it to me. I'm appreciative. Let's get after it.
Yo,
like I've got a nice spiritual energy towards that thing that like I wouldn't like. We're saying we wouldn't necessarily do like in a fantasy world per se.
Yes, if I had to create, if I got to choose exactly what I wanted to do.
Right. So like with that being said, in this dreamlike state, it was like every step I was the feeling of being in that fantasy place of everything being exactly how I chose it to be was like glowing up inside of me. And then all the trees were getting more golden and all the apples became golden dipped apples. And I was like, yo. And it was cool because it was like kind of hard to take a step. But then every time I took a step, it got more gold. And then the thing happened where I was like, all you gotta do is keep going forward. And I just like kept going forward and things got more dope. Like the feeling got more enhanced. I think my subconscious was processing that life is like that. And it's really cool.
It's trying to express it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tight.
The best way it could.
Yeah. That was one of the best dreams I've had in a long, like it was, I woke up and I was like, that dream was awesome. Like, damn. Bookmark.
Gold drip.
Yeah.
Gold drip. And it's crazy because I remember you had that dream and then you expressed that dream to me. And then that day, my girlfriend went to go meet with our AGM at this restaurant. I think it was just called Gold. Or like something gold coffee. Something along those lines. And then she got the pumpkin spice, which is like her favorite shit for coffee. The pumpkin spice that which she would have gotten anyway.
Fall day.
Just happened to be number 38. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. That's crazy. This is what we're talking about,
right?
Folks. This is it. I started a podcast to try to express that to you. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was just like, gold drip, huh? That's crazy. It's like, oh yeah, I got it from the coffee shop. Gold. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. She's like, yeah, look at the coffee. Number 38. I was like, oh my God. It's like bang, bang, bang. I don't know what that is exactly. Some people could brush it off as just like, oh, that's weird. But I'm like, no, I think that's God talking to me.
Yeah. I call you up and say, I had a dream where everything was going how we wanted it to go and everything became gold dripped. Like, what? What?
And then bang, bang.
What?
Within minutes. Yeah.
I think we're back.
That's okay. We're back.
Frequency getting busted over here, dude.
We're breaking through the walls. Well, sheesh. But I think you're trying to go head out here in a bit? Yeah.
Yeah, how long we been on for?
Yeah, we've been going for like an hour and change.
Yeah, you want to do it? Anything crazy going on currently? Well, look, let's put a wrap on that. What I don't know what that is exactly.
The winks, the coincidences, the timing of things, the timing of things that are happening while you're thinking of things, and those things like coinciding with each other. It's like, what the hell? I think that's God talking to you.
Yes, it's gonna be hard because you want God to be answering your Christmas-like prayers, which are I want this and I want that, and you want God to be like, guess what I got for you? And it's tough because that's not always what's going on.
And explained in perfect English.
Yeah.
Or in language you can understand.
Right. It's like sometimes sometimes that is what's going on. And I think God's probably super happy when he gets to be Santa Claus for us. But it's like it's gotta be kind of perfect to do that. I don't know, this is lagging a little bit, but it's cool, I can finish.
You could. Yeah, I think it's important.
I think that's why yoga and meditation are so important, because I think they help blank you out. Because you're going to have to remove all of that selfish Christmas-like prayer to really see what's going on and really see who you are and what would be best for you. And I think it's best to kind of like blank it out and be your best every day, but try to like remove your own biases. It's cool because they'll be there because you're still you. So like if you like this thing, that's tight. Like, you're still going to like it, even if for a little bit you remove the bias of you like that thing. Like, I'm someone who gets to enjoy coffee for my whole life. I can not think about coffee and, like, let it go for a little bit. And I still know that when I'm ready to go back to enjoying coffee, it's still there for me. Like, yoga taught me that. I don't know if that sounds weird, but, like, in that place of just letting myself become empty, I realized you can put things down, and there's some things that'll still be there when you want to pick them up, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
And from that kind of is like a thought experiment to help you or help me be able to remove my biases so I could see what's really going on and then really make good choices for myself after that. My mic's lagging out, so it's hard to think and talk. Like
There's a little latency. It's all good though. We're finna wrap it up. Man's finna hit not hit the town, but
yeah, go out for a drink.
Go out on the town.
Don't we like to go out?
Maybe not hit it too hard. Just a little love tap on the town.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But,
I hope you have a fun time if you're going out. A fun time driving home from work.
Whatever the hell you're doing,
you guys.
Have a good one. Do it well. Get in there. We're rooting for you. You already know it. We keep it moving, baby. We're in the top 1% now.
Boom.
And we ain't stopping.
Yeah, it's not enough. 100.
We keep going.
100.
That's the next milestone, y'all.
Boom, boom.
Excited to get there with you guys. Go, Kurt. Kill it and crush it.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Crush.
Whichever one you want to do first.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Love y'all.
See you on the other side.
Peace.
Rolling through the city to the light show. Really ain't no telling where we might